We knew that the Resident Evil series was going to have a big year on Nintendo Switch because Resident Evil 0, 1, and 4 were all announced for the console. Now we have a release date. We didn't have one before, and I am quite excited that it isn't terribly far away. Alright, we're at the end of February. We're about to be March. Then in a couple of months, on May 21st, we will have the opportunity to have the Resident Evil goodness on our favorite hybrid console. Okay, so let's go ahead and get into it. A little caveat here. It says that European Switch owners will be able to grab all three games as a separate digital download through the Nintendo eShop, and there's more info coming soon. This is all coming from the official Resident Evil Twitter page. I'll have a link for them in the description. Here's another cool thing. The European one, yeah, it's separate downloads. That's kind of unfortunate, but North American Switch owners will be able to purchase Resident Evil Origins Collection at retail, bundling together both Resident Evil 0 and 1. Again, stay tuned for more information. Alright, now, this is a lot of Resident Evil games, 3 of them. What if you've never played any of them? What if you're not super familiar? You don't know where to start? Okay, so let me tell you what order you should get these in, because I understand that 3 games and, you know, they're a little bit old. You might not know which to play for some reason. Alright, first of all, this is all opinion based, but in my opinion, Resident Evil 4 is the must-get game here. It is a classic. It was originally released in January of 2005 on the GameCube. That is where I originally played it. I've played it multiple times since then, since it has come to other platforms, and it is an amazing, amazing game. I think it's a timeless game. So it holds up super well. The controls aren't what you're going to be used to as far as the modern games go, but everything else, the story, the atmosphere, and the level design, the boss fights, all super well done. Resident Evil 4 should be your first pickup. Now, Resident Evil 4 is the only one that isn't part of that bundle. It's going to have to be separate, but it's going to be fully worth the price of admission. And little fun fact, we do not know the price of admission right now. They didn't give the information quite yet. They did say more information is to come. All right, what about the other 2? Okay, if you're in North America, it's easy because you're going to get both, so don't worry about what you're getting first. But in my opinion, Resident Evil, the original, is going to be better than 0. Alright, so the original, it's a remake of the original. It's not the old PlayStation 1. We had the remake happen a few years ago, and they updated the graphics quite a bit. They made it so it's a little bit more modern, and it's a really fun romp through a mansion. I said romp on a Resident Evil game. It's still really dark, but the puzzles and exploration in it are amazing. Because yes, it's zombies and you gotta be shooting them in the head, but some of the puzzles in there are like legitimately difficult, and like they take some brain power, at least in my opinion. You can of course go look up the answers for everything because it's on the internet and the game's been out for a very long time, but I suggest you don't do that. I suggest you try to get through it on your own. It's a really, really fun game. The original Resident Evil was released in 1996. I was 6 years old at the time. The remake that we're getting here was released in 2002, so yeah, I was way older by then. Definitely played that. I was 22 at the time. Just fun little fact. Resident Evil 0 also out. You're gonna get that one and, you know, the original bundled if you're in America. If you buy it physical at stores, if you want to get them digitally, you will be able to. That one released in 2002 as well on GameCube, which is, hey, pretty good. It was on a lot of platforms. It was on Wii, it was on PS3, it's even been on PS4 and Xbox One, it was on 360. Resident Evil 0 is everywhere. It's also a survival horror game. It's honestly my least favorite of the series. You know, you're on this train and I don't know. I didn't like this one as much, but it's so good. That's the thing about Resident Evil games. For me, at least, even the bad ones are still good. Yes, that means even Resident Evil 6 I found kind of fun. I know people really don't like that one, but I kind of like the change in perspective from the characters going from one to the next. But let's not talk about Resident Evil 6 too much. By the time that Resident Evil 0 came out, I was over Albert Wesker. He kind of bothers me for some reason. I know he's a lot of people's like favorite like Resident Evil villain. Not mine. I don't like Albert Wesker. But there you have it, guys. We have release dates for all the Resident Evil games on Nintendo Switch, as well as some purchasing options. Physical, you're getting both of the older games in one in America, Europe, and probably everywhere else. You got to get it digitally. All right, separately, by the way. May 21st is when it's happening. Get ready. It's going to be a good time. I know I'm going to jump on Resident Evil 4 super quickly. I wish that they were releasing a little bit sooner, but the unfortunate fact is they are not. But with that said, I'm going to go ahead and get out of here and maybe go play some Resident Evil 2 Remake. That's not on Switch. Maybe one day it could be. We love you. We appreciate your support. Don't forget to subscribe. Follow us on Twitter for giveaways and other shenanigans. And that is pretty much it. We appreciate you. SwitchForce out.